you tired of sailing around the Caribbean and looking at doing your first Mediterranean cruise to spice things up a little bit? You want to pay attention to this video on 8 ways that a Mediterranean cruise is very different than a Caribbean cruise. Hey everybody, it's Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser, where I go on a weekend cruise just about every weekend. But I also love getting out of the Caribbean and seeing the rest of the world via cruise ship. And so I wanted to make this video if you're looking at making the jump over the pond to check out a Mediterranean cruise, what you can expect. Now there are 8 things here that I'm going to go through in pretty quick order, but I hope that this will help you prepare for your Mediterranean sailing. The first thing that you're going to notice here is if you go on a 7-night sailing, what's the one night that you really look forward to in the main dining room? Formal night. That is absolutely correct. And why do we look forward to formal night? Because we get lobster. And that is the awesome part to formal night. However, over in the Mediterranean, you're not gonna have 2 formal nights like you do in the Caribbean. You're gonna have 1 formal night, and that 1 formal night, it's not gonna come with lobster. The second thing that you're gonna notice is that in the Caribbean, you're gonna have 2 or 3 sea days where you can enjoy the ship. If you're going over to Europe into the Mediterranean, they think that you're going to actually see Europe and Mediterranean, which is normally the case. And so you're not gonna have very many sea days. You'll be lucky if you get 1. I've been on one cruise that had a port every single day. It is exhausting. So you're gonna need to make sure that you're going with a ton of energy for this sailing so that you can go explore a new country, a new city every single day that you are on your cruise. Even on one of my last cruises, it had a port every day. I didn't get off the last day. I made a sea day because I was just so run down that I needed to rest. The third thing is that even though you're gonna have all these different ports that you're going to, you're gonna have a, like I said, a port every single day. The excursions are really expensive when you travel over to Europe. If you are in the Caribbean, you can find excursions for $30, $50, $75. That is not going to be the case over in Europe. You're looking at paying a minimum of probably $125, $150, and you can go up to $500. Most of mine, I think I was averaging around $200 to $225 per excursion per person. And if you are doing this for 5 or 6 days, that's going to add up really, really quick. And one of the downsides of going over to the Mediterranean is a lot of these ports aren't equipped to handle cruise ships. They've got cruise ships there and they've got makeshift terminals, but they're not equipped for this. So you are gonna find a lot of long lines every single day when you come back to the cruise ship. I think on my last sailing, we had 5 ports. 3 or 4 of those had 30 to 45 minute standing waits to get back onto the ship. And there is nowhere to be able to sit. And in most cases, we were standing outside for it, sometimes even in the rain. Luckily, they do the security screening out here at the port, so you don't have to go through that once you get to the ship, but do expect them to be on your feet for 30 to 45 minutes to get back onto the ship because everybody's coming back at the exact same time. And with all these cruise lines bringing more people over to the ports, you're gonna find that number 4 is there is a ton more people in these ports. You thought Nassau was crowded. Nassau is not crowded. Compared to Mykonos, Midsummer, compared to Santorini, or to some of these other ports where you're gonna have 4 or 5 ships all tendering in, it is gonna be exceptionally crowded with the normal crowds that they have there. And it's also gonna be very hot, but be prepared for all of the people. Just set your mind frame that the beautiful pictures that you see are gonna have tons of people in them. The 6th one here, and my personal favorite, is you're gonna get the opportunity to meet people from all over the world. So the cruise lines, even American cruise lines, because it is in the Mediterranean, you're gonna have people flying from Europe, it's super close, Middle East, Asia, even South American people wanna come over, and people from Africa. I met people from all over the world on this sailing, and I loved hearing their stories, learning about them, hearing all the accents. It was a beautiful thing because I can't think of another environment where I had the opportunity to see such a diverse group of people come together and have an amazing experience as part of a cruise ship community. The 7th one here, and this is probably one that'll drive some people a little bit mad, is that you're gonna hear the announcements in multiple different languages. So when the cruise line is coming over the loudspeakers, the PA system, to tell you what's going on or to do a drill, they're gonna do it in multiple languages. So on my personal sailing, it was done in 4 languages each time. It was done in English, Italian, Spanish, and German were the 4 languages that they did all the announcements in. The announcements are going to be determined based on the percentage of people on that ship. So if there's a lot of Germans on the ship, you're going to find the German language there. If you see another country has a really high percentage, they're going to make it in that language. That is something you don't really see a lot of in the US or Caribbean ports. Sailing out of, South Florida, you certainly will hear English and Spanish. That is not uncommon. But then when you add 2 more to it, that's where it starts to get a little bit different. And honestly, those announcements start to go on for a little bit long. And the 8th one, and I think that this is just a smart move for Royal Caribbean to save a little bit of money, is they bring in a lot more international entertainers and headliners to keep us entertained. So they're going to be finding Italian singers, they're going to find people from Spain, people from the local area to bring in. And so this means that you're going to have a different variety of entertainers that you might not have seen over in the Caribbean. In the Caribbean, I've seen just about every single juggler that Royal Caribbean can throw at me at this point. But over in the Mediterranean, they're pulling from a different pool of people because it's just cheaper to fly somebody from Europe to the Mediterranean than it is from the States over to the Mediterranean. You're also going to see that the music and the songs that they sing are going to be much more international. You're not going to hear only English spoken songs. You will absolutely hear probably 2 or 3 other languages that are going to be sung. I know we heard a lot of Spanish as well as Italian songs on our cruise since we took off from Ravenna, Italy, but that was awesome. I personally didn't know all the songs, but from the people that were singing along, I knew that they still were very popular in different cultures. All right, everybody, so I truly do hope that you are trying to get out of the Caribbean. I think that the Caribbean's wonderful, but if you have the opportunity to experience more of the world, especially via cruise ship, one of the easiest ways to travel and see a lot of places at once, I hope you are taking advantage of that. All right, everybody, this is Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser. Hoping to see you on a weekend cruise soon.